Susan was telling us earlier that the theme for this year's stewardship campaign is Forward Together. Those words sort of summarize who we are as a community. Tapestry has always had a keen eye toward making pretty bold moves toward progress. That boldness is part of what attracted me to this congregation 5 years ago. All the ministers who had served this congregation before me mentioned a willingness to shake things up a bit. Moving forward, of course, isn't just about an institution. It's really about maintaining a sense of aspiration. In a lot of ways, aspiration is a spiritual commitment. It's about dreaming and movement and growth. They're all part of the spiritual life. Part of being engaged in life is knowing that we're not done yet. There's always more to learn. There's always more opportunity to grow in compassion. Even as we're grateful for the tremendous community that we have here at Tapestry, we know that we can continue growing and deepening. We can learn from our neighbors. We can evolve with the world around us. We're moving forward together. And that word together is a little less complicated. Sometimes we forget to talk about the obvious stuff, though. Sometimes we assume that everyone just knows. So it's worth being clear about this sense of togetherness. Relationship is really fundamental to our mission at Tapestry. We seek to transform ourselves and our world through engaging with one another. That's one of the things that Friends of Orange County Detainees has been very clear about. If you don't know, Friends of Orange County Detainees is a Tapestry program that coordinates a whole team of volunteers, I'm talking like 60 or 70 people, to visit immigrants in detention facilities here in Orange County. What started as a pretty small curiosity several years ago has grown into a huge network of volunteers and 2 staff people. The growing organization has been pulled in 1,000 different directions of people telling them what they should be doing. Through it all, they have maintained focus on providing compassionate, face-to-face interaction with people in detention centers. They believe, and we believe, that compassionate relationships make a real and powerful difference in the world. And yes, providing legal support is important, and advocating for reform in the immigration system is very necessary. There are really wonderful people doing that work, though. Friends of Orange County Detainees focuses on compassionate relationship. And those relationships have changed lives. They open hearts and minds, both of those folks in detention and the volunteers who get to spend time with them. Tapestry is no different. Our mission fundamentally focuses on relationship, because we don't make or sell anything. We make our mark on the world by fostering relationships with each other in this community and with our neighbors beyond this wall, and relationships with the holy. Compassionate relationships change the world. That's the business we're in. I think most of you have heard by now that we're well on our way toward moving into our building. I actually got keys this past week. I hadn't been inside in a couple of months, and certainly not since our architect sort of laid out where everything would be. So last week, I went to check it out again, including the room where my office will be. A lot of the building is getting completely gutted, but the offices and classrooms are will stay pretty much untouched. It was nice to see where my office would be. I'm a bit of a nester that way. Having space is very grounding for me. It doesn't have to be especially fancy or nice space, but it gives me a great sense of comfort to be settled into a specific space. It felt really, really good to get a better sense of the building. For a long time, Tapestry members have dreamed of having a place of our own, and I mean a long time, like 20 to 30 years long time. This congregation has met all over the place, in people's homes, at a school. For several years, we rented space in Mission Viejo that was a maze of connected office suites. More recently, we were at Madero. It was nice, but congested, and it was not ours. We've made it. Yes, there is construction work to do, but walking into the building, knowing it is ours, gives a distinct sense of success. I know a handful of you have been over there since we took possession of it. It feels good. But I want to warn us that successful achievement of any goal is a dangerous moment. It's a moment of either being self-satisfied or using that success as a platform to aim for bigger and more audacious goals. For a long time, we have dreamed of having a permanent home, and now we're quickly moving into a time of dreaming what we'll do with that home. Of course, we'll continue doing what we do well, and the new building will serve those needs beautifully. We'll have more classroom space for the kids and better facilities for our potlucks and social events. We'll have a larger sanctuary with a good sound system for our worship services. And Friends of Orange County detainees will even have their own resource center in the building. I told you, it's very tempting to feel like we've made it. But I know that Tapestry is capable of a more expansive vision than doing what we have done. Next weekend, several of our members, I think around 25, maybe 30, folks who participated in the race and racism workshops, will gather together to talk about our future. Based on what we learned in those classes, we'll look at our programs and how we might become even more welcoming to people of various cultures. And we'll spend some time talking about how we might take bold steps toward being a multiracial, multicultural, beloved community. That's just one conversation, though. One place where we'll be dreaming of the future. There are so many different ways that we can be a vital congregation. Religious communities in our country carry out their mission in an astounding array of ways. From serving the homeless to lobbying at the Capitol, from campus ministry to providing care at senior centers. There are a lot of different ways that we could move forward, especially when we have the space to do it. So I encourage you to share your dreams for Tapestry with one another. What specific needs do you see in our community? What strengths do we have that we could leverage toward more spiritual growth and justice making in the world? We've all made our pledges already, so this may be a little bit late in the worship service, but I want to close our time together by reminding us why it matters, why Tapestry matters. One reason that seems especially important this year is because facts matter. In our liberal religious tradition, we're committed to a scientific understanding of the world and to the prophetic imperative to tell moral truths. We won't stand by as our country disintegrates into layers of alternative facts and moral ambiguity. Facts matter. Science informs our faith. Facts inform our moral outlook. That's why Tapestry matters. It also matters because it provides a counterbalance to our consumer culture. We believe that people can find fulfillment and live meaningful lives without accumulating wealth and status or paying for miracle cures. I want to say that again. We believe that people can find fulfillment and live meaningful lives without accumulating wealth and status or paying for miracle cures. In a world that tells us we are one credit card away from a satisfying life, or one product away from being truly beautiful, we're here to remind each other and the world that satisfaction is not something we buy. Satisfaction is something we cultivate, along with gratitude and kindness, courage and patience. Finally, I would say that Tapestry matters because our children matter. Tapestry is committed to teaching these things to a younger generation because our children are not little engines for the future economy or little consumers. Their happiness and their fulfillment matters. Their souls matter. So we invest a good chunk of our resources into high-quality religious education. And we strive to offer families an opportunity to spend quality time together. Tapestry matters. So thank you for being a part of this community. Of course, thank you for your financial support of this congregation. But even more than that, thank you for being a part of a community that makes a difference in the lives of people in this room and a much bigger circle. Thank you for continuing to move forward together so that we can be a vibrant community for decades to come. Amen.